Friends, we are live. Great to see you on a Friday. Here we go, heading to the weekend. Welcome to Central Florida Weather Live, the show. Rusty with you here. Excellent day ahead. We've got a lot to talk about. Got some changes coming in for the weekend. Get you caught up on that. Nice to see you guys on our Wednesday program when we went live tracking those strong to severe storms. Good to see those who are tuning in on this Friday. If you are here for the live version of this, thank you so much for hitting that like button for me right now. And even if you're watching the recorded version, we appreciate all those who do watch it at your own leisure. Thanks again for liking this live stream and subscribing to the channel. Also, thank you for letting your friends and family know about this channel as well. Central Florida Weather Live, sponsored by the Lean Law Firm of Central Florida, your hometown homeowners insurance attorneys. They're going to cover you through every step of the insurance claim process. Anything that could impact you or your property. Think, got to replace your roof, you got hail damage, maybe you had a burst pipe, maybe you're in an auto accident. They're going to help you guys out. They offer free consultation and policy reviews. They're a fantastic sponsor. If that situation ever arises in your life, please go to the bottom of your screen there, leanonmelaw.com, if you would like more information. Hi, Jay. How are you, pal? Hope things are going well. Breaking out the knowledge again out from Puerto Rico. I appreciate that. Good to see you guys. So, obviously, behind our storms on Wednesday, we've had some pretty nice weather, right? It's been cool in the morning hours, and we had a heck of a lot of wind. Well, a little bit more tranquil weather for the rest of this Friday and into Saturday, but I am going to be tracking a storm system here coming out of portions of the western side of the Gulf of Mexico, Gulf of America, whatever you might want to call it these days, and it is going to provide a good chance for showers and storms late into our weekend. So we do have some changes, and for some areas that could impact your late Sunday plans. So let's get into the story here. A little bit closer to home, I'm going to zoom in. Temperatures right now, they're gorgeous. Now look, earlier in the day, again, we started off well into the 40s. Good afternoon, Blue Goose. St. Augustine in the house with sunshine and 65 degrees. You got it. Let me take this loop down just a little bit shorter in time here, just to show you guys again. So this was, 7 in the morning-ish. You're starting off, Chris River got down to 36 degrees, okay? Cross City down to 34. I mean, there was some cold air in Central Florida overnight. Low 50s in Metro Orlando, mid to upper 50s in Metro Tampa, Daytona Beach, 48. Same thing for St. Augustine, Jacksonville, and at 46. I mean, there was a bite to the air this morning. We've warmed up very nicely, very comfortably. Temperatures right now are getting back into the upper 60s to the lower 70s. We'll top off a few more degrees warmer than that as well. Just a few clouds racing across the area from west to east, but I'm going to expect a good amount of sunshine out there today. We are going to get some rain, no doubt about it, Blue Goose. Pretty good shot for a couple of showers moving in late in the period here into the weekend. Now, again, it'll be dependent on where you are if these showers could actually impact some of your late Sunday plans. We'll look at the models coming up in just a second. Again, winds are somewhat light and variable. Let me throw on the highs and the lows here, and then the pressure. We actually have a very weak area of high pressure basically right over us right now. It's not significantly strong, but the winds are variable, so they started off this morning almost kind of out of the north into the east, and these are your pressure bars, and as it moves right across the heart of the peninsula here early on this Friday afternoon, there's hardly a breath of wind in most spots. If we take a look here for the Daytona Beach area, again, you're going to see several hours where the winds were less than 5 miles an hour. Extremely variable conditions. In Tampa, again, winds less than 5 miles an hour. So that's why it got so darn cold this morning. The air was so still, but making for an absolutely beautiful afternoon. Speaking of that, what do you say we take a look at our cameras? We'll start off with the Disney camera here. This is from the Lake Buena Vista area, looking back south and west from this shot towards the Disney property. Nothing but blue sky out there for today. Again, it's a fantastic way to wrap up our week and get into the weekend. Let's take a look at the Conway cam, and again, gorgeous conditions there. This camera is looking east. You can see the wind is blowing away, but there's just a little bit of a breeze outside. Plenty of sunshine across Central Florida on this Friday afternoon, and just a few thin, high, wispy clouds. I showed you that actually on the satellite presentation. You can see one of those thin, high clouds coming in, and again, those clouds are so high up in the sky that they are made out of ice crystals rather than water vapor, which is why they have that wispiness to them, and obviously the winds. The upper levels of the atmosphere are stronger, so it kind of causes those striations to those clouds, but I mean, let's be honest, there's 95% blue sky out there across the region. So let's talk about how this is going to kind of break down, and I do have some city-by-city forecasts for you guys as well. Great rest of the day. Let me get over to a little bit broader perspective here. I'm going to zoom back out, and this will pull back on the radar as well. Now, at this point in time, we don't have anything showing up on radar as of yet. This is a developing system that's going to be tapping into some energy coming out of the central and southern plains, and then the warm, moisture-laden air coming out of the western Gulf. All right, so the combination of the two, it's a very classic thing. Now, the phasing of this storm, unlike the storm last week where they were both in phase, low level, mid level, upper level energy, and produced the stretch of tornadic weather, we're not going to get that, okay? For today, there could be a few storms in portions of central Texas, maybe along the Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama coastline, but not severe. Tomorrow, there is a marginal risk, but again, that's just 1 out of 5 on the scale. So remember, we had the 3 out of 5, the enhanced opportunity, 7 days ago. And then as we get into Sunday, we'll start to see that get a little bit closer to our area. Now, at this point in time, that 1 out of 4 is just north of Central Florida. It does include the I-10 corridor, like Jacksonville to Lake City, on over towards Tallahassee and areas of South Central and Southeast Georgia, including Brunswick and Valdosta. And again, Jacksonville Metro is included in that, but it does not include any of our area. That being said, you notice that we are in the light green for our Sunday, so there is going to be the risk for a few storms coming in. Now, the timing is going to be probably the biggest story out of this. Again, the majority of Sunday looks to be okay. So at least we have that. I'm not expecting storms to move in until relatively late on Sunday. So if you have some weekend plans, we're looking pretty good. Hi, Blue Goose. I also came to St. Augustine live feeds and YouTube for weather updates and such. Thank you, Blue Goose. I appreciate that. And again, as I've mentioned, we really hope to bring you guys more and more cameras. Part of the way that we can do that is by growing this channel, right? To allow us to continue to grow, to generate revenue, and to be able to put that back into the channel. It's one reason that we're so thankful to have the Lean Law Firm of Central Florida to be our sponsor. It's a great partnership with them, and we hope it's fruitful for both, but it allows us to reinvest back into the channel some as well as we get a little bit closer to the wet season. And again, we just want to keep adding on, but we hope you enjoyed this. And the easiest way that you guys can support me is simply by liking this live stream and by subscribing to the channel. If you haven't as of yet, of course, we have a lot of loyal followers, but if you're new to the channel, really appreciate you hitting that subscribe button for us right now. So that's kind of the overall setup. Tomorrow looks absolutely fantastic. Again, we can look at a lot of different things here. So let's get into a couple things here. Let's see. What do we want to look at here? Going through everything. I mentioned the drought situation last time, right? So let me get these temperatures off. And if you guys remembered after Wednesday, so on Thursday, we had a fire weather watch, right? So already there's a little bit of concern. Anywhere that you see the brown is considered to be abnormally dry. It's a good part of our area, right? So if you're in the browns or higher, you've got a drought going on in Central Florida, and that's darn near everyone. Now, abnormally dry means you catch a little bit of rain in the next week or two and you're right back out of the abnormally dry category. But when you're in the yellow, kind of the slight drought, and the orange into the moderate drought, it's going to take a little bit more effort to get back out of that. And again, we do not want to be too dry as we get through March and into April, because as we start to heat up and the winds really start to pick up and we don't have the sea breeze storms yet, that's when the fire threat really begins to elevate in Central Florida. So it's not fantastic to be here in early March and to already be talking about a little bit of a drought as well. Hey, Garrett, how you doing, man? Oh, absolutely gorgeous weather in North Carolina. Yes, indeed. I was taking a look at some things up there as well. Generally speaking, if you live anywhere east of the Intermountain West, it's going to be absolutely gorgeous. Over the next 6 to 10 days, and let me do this again. I've got all these little presets, so let me do this. I can pull out to the big view, and then we take a look at this. Again, this is not days 1 to 5. This is days 6 to 10. This is the kind of the extended look, but again, central eastern portions of the United States well above normal, and the higher you go on this chart, and the deeper into the reds that you go, the better chance you have of seeing temperatures above normal. Now, that does not mean you're going to have, it's not a guarantee you're going to have 5 days in a row of above average temperatures. It just means when you average it out over those 5 days, temperatures are expected to be above normal. And then it's very cold with actually a lot of snow still out in the Intermountain West over on the Weather Express channel that I do for the United States. Several feet of snow expected to fall in portions of the Sierra Nevadas and in portions of the Intermountain West as well. And then the precip outlook, we're warm, but we're also somewhat wet. Now here in Central Florida, we're basically even chances of being normally wet or dry. So I would expect average rainfall over the next 10 days. That's not a lot in March, but at least it's some. And then farther north that you go into the southeast and the mid-Atlantic states and the Appalachians and the Tennessee River Valley, you're going to get wetter weather overall in the 6 to 10 day time frame. Hey, Aaron, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for saying hi. Again, this is what I appreciate, guys. This channel is an interactive channel. This is why I do it. Let's chat, right? You guys have the opportunity. This is the big difference between watching this in the recorded version or watching television, right? You can talk with me in real time. And I love that. If you have a specific question about the forecast, drop it in the comment section below. I'm happy to answer that. Again, you can clearly see that this moisture fetch is beginning to pick up. Now look what's also happening in North Mexico right now. They're hitting some upper 80s to 90 degrees. That is not a fantastic look for the Southern Plains severe weather outlook for March, because warm, and I mean even hot, then moisture-laden air coming in from the Western Gulf, still combined with a ton of colder air and energy coming out of the Intermountain West, you get the clash of the titans here. You get these different kinds of air masses with temperatures in the 20s and 30s clashing with an air mass with a lot of juice and the temperatures in the 70s and the 80s. And that is where you have that big time outlook. And again, for those of you who don't know, I was a meteorologist in Oklahoma City for 7 years. So I do know what I'm talking about. They've already had, obviously, the one outbreak, but this, just looking at this in a general sense and seeing that concerns me. Now, this particular storm is not phased together like the one 7 days ago, but overall, it's not a great look to already be warming up into the upper 80s and lower 90s in northern sides of Mexico and still have, a ton of colder air coming out of the Intermountain West. Philly in the house. Good to see. Hey, Aaron, man, I know as well, because if you don't know, Aaron, I do another channel now called Weather Express, which is the national forecast. It's a daily 5-minute forecast. You can actually find a link to the channel below if you'd like to subscribe. I talked about Philadelphia, where, I mean, you guys had winds of up to 50 miles an hour the last couple of days, right? Let me know if you felt some of that, but there were wind advisories or high wind warnings from, the Delmarva Peninsula to Philly, Jersey, New York City to Boston. I mean, 40, 50 mile winds look to be pretty common. And here in Florida, we had some 40 plus mile an hour winds as well behind our storms on Wednesday and especially on our Thursday. All right, so let's kind of talk about how this is going to break out. I can do this. I want to talk about temperatures tomorrow morning, and then we're going to get into the rain. So let me switch over to the HRRR model. It's going to bring rain up first. And again, I'm doing things on the fly. Why not? We can do so much. Let's switch over to the 2 meter temperatures here. And I do have to loop it up as well. So here we go. There, 2 meter. And I'm going to take it to 7 tomorrow morning. So it's going to just take a second. It will still be cold tomorrow morning. With the air being so dry and the winds being extremely light, we're going to be in store for a pretty cold start in some areas tomorrow morning, all right? I don't expect it to be as cold as this morning, where again, Crystal River in Citrus County got down to 36 degrees and Cross City got down to 34. I mean, you're flirting with some near freezing conditions there, and I would imagine a little bit of frost in a couple of at least sheltered locations. So when we take a look at this, tomorrow morning, again, not as cold, but still, I would expect some areas to try and get down into the 40s in a couple of spots. It's not going to be extremely widespread. We are moderating, but don't be fooled tomorrow morning. So I'm just going to put a couple of these numbers on the screen. And what I mean by that is, it's the weekend. We're getting out, we're playing golf, we're heading to the attractions, we're going to Lake Buena Vista, we're getting out, we're going to the science centers, we're maybe doing a little bit of fishing, whatever we want to do. Don't be shocked to what it's going to feel like tomorrow morning. That being said, it's going to be a big time warm up into the afternoon. Tomorrow is one of those days where you have a huge swing in temperatures. So 40s and low 50s to kick off your Saturday. I want to show you some of the temperatures in the afternoon. We're talking about a really steady climb and even warmer weather on Sunday ahead of our storm system. But again, don't be shocked if you wake up tomorrow morning and there's a bit of a bite into the air, because that's what I expect. Again, great to see you guys. Thank you so much for liking this. I'm going to grab a little drink of my diet green tea. It doesn't sound good, but it's Publix diet green tea. It gets the job done, trust me. We all know about the pub subs too. All right, so let's look at the advisories that are into play right now as well, and then we'll get into the forecast. So let me clear off those numbers. So at this point in time, we don't have any advisories into play whatsoever. That's great news. You still have some special weather statements in portions of Georgia. Some of the heavier rain has still caused some flooding through portions of the Mississippi River Valley. There's your fire weather watch as well. And this storm system that I've been mentioning here is beelining south and east, where you actually have some pretty good winter storm conditions expected for the panhandle of Texas. 5 to 7 inches of snow. And that's pretty solid snowfall totals here for March. But you can clearly see all of the purples and pinks are either winter weather advisories or winter storm warnings. And that's the juice that's still coming out of the Intermountain West this time of the year. But overall, we're doing all right. We do have some rip current statements if maybe you're going up to the panhandle, but that would be about it. So let's get into the model. So I'm going to go back over to the GFS here. And again, switch this on the fly. So give me 1 second. And let's get this out to our Monday. Okay, so now we're going to get into the rain. Now we're going to get into the forecast as well. All right, take just 1 second to loop through. So you can clearly see that we're going to have a nice little system coming through, area of low pressure staying to our north, but it's going to drag a front across the area late on Sunday. Now, as I've already mentioned, a little bit better chance to have a little bit more healthier storm activity tomorrow from the Oklahoma City area back through Arkansas, portions of Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. That's the generalized risk for a little bit more isolated, strong to severe storms. That will dip on Sunday a little bit closer to our area, but again, generally staying towards the I-10 corridor. So throughout Sunday, here's how this plays out. This is 1 o'clock. We're still pretty dry. Now, also being said, south winds are going to be out ahead of all of this as well, right? So you're going to have south winds. You're going to have this rain coming in. As a matter of fact, I mean, why not do it, right? Let me throw on this here, and that shouldn't impede the rain from sticking on as well. Might just take a second to loop both things up. I'm going to go ahead and throw the 10-meter winds on. They're basically the surface winds, and so you can clearly see how this is going to play out with the winds as well. It's a short loop, so it shouldn't take long to fully load up. Pub subs. Oh, are you kidding me, man? Even when I was a college student, like I went to the University of Florida, you know, you get a pub sub, it's 2 meals. And back then they were $5. Still not horrible price now, but like everything, things are more expensive, right? So I'm just taking you out here. First of all, notice that through the day on Sunday, which of course is the 9th, our winds are going to mainly be out of the south. We'll start to turn southwest as this begins to move in, but you can see on the GFS model, and again, not showing you the HER because it's too far out in time, only the HER will only get us into Sunday morning, that we may not get this rain until pretty darn late in the day. And by darn late, I mean maybe we even hit sunset. Now remember, we're springing our clocks forward 1 hour. Daylight saving time returns early Sunday morning. So we set those clocks ahead. So now we're gonna have sunset, you know, in that 7:30-ish time frame. A little bit longer of a day, but I do expect us to mainly be dry then. And you can see that the GFS actually does hold some of the rain back until Monday morning. So for most of our area, we're going to be dry during the daylight hours of Sunday. We'll get the rain to move in very late Sunday night through the overnight hours and early Monday morning. I do expect it to be somewhat of a wet and potentially stormy start to our Monday, meaning a wet commute. Not going to be a ton of energy with this, not a lot of instability. Don't expect there to be a lot of storms, but this is 7 a.m., right when we're getting up, going back to school, going back to work here, and we're going to have the opportunity for some wet weather across I-95, I-4, I-75, 275 back towards Tampa. so it could be a wet start to the day. Some of this rain could linger along our east coast from Palm Coast to Daytona Beach and Palm Bay, all the way through the late morning hours before it finally clears. By the way, you see those purples on your map and even some whites. That's 25 plus mile-an-hour winds. This is coming in with some pretty good wind energy as well, guys. So watch out for that as well. The wind machine will be cranking back up. So I'm going to throw that into motion for you, and you're going to see it kind of work its way through. Again, south winds, a very balmy day on Sunday. The showers and storms begin to move into the area late Sunday night and into early on Monday. And that low kind of strengthens as it moves off the Georgia, South Carolina coastline. So you can clearly see that tight rotation, the counterclockwise rotation, and a lot of wind. Near gale conditions are expected here. So, for our friends in the Bahamas, towards Bermuda, Turks and Caicos, and even portions of our East Coast, I would expect there to be, if not Sunday, on Monday, some small craft advisories, or at least small craft cautions out there. Going to be rougher conditions, especially in the offshore waters. So I looked at the NAM earlier too. It's about lockstep with the GFS, so I don't really think there's much reason to get into that. You'd see about the same solution. So let me break down the rain chance for you guys and your 3-day forecast here, city by city. We'll start off with the attractions area. Of course, it's Lake Buena Vista, Epcot, Disney, Universal, anywhere you're heading down there. First of all, it's an absolutely gorgeous day tomorrow. Again, chilly start to the day, relatively speaking. 50 is your morning low, but we're up to 81 for the daytime high. That is a 31, and I can do the simple math in my head. That's a 31-degree temperature climb. That's pretty darn solid. So again, it is jacket weather to kick off your Saturday, and you could absolutely end the day in shorts and short sleeves if you want to. No doubt about it. It gets even milder with the south winds and clouds moving in on Sunday. 59 is the morning low. And again, late day showers are possible. Now, I put it into the Sunday forecast, but again, a lot of that probably won't move into the attractions until after sunset. Doesn't mean that we couldn't maybe get some wet fireworks there at Disney late on Sunday, but otherwise your attractions day looks fantastic on Sunday. We'll have to deal with the morning rain and lows in the 60s and then clearing skies in the afternoon hours. And there's your cooler air coming back in, 72, the daytime high at the attractions on Monday. For St. Pete, an absolutely gorgeous Saturday. Sunny, comfortable, warmer along the immediate coastline, 58 for the morning low there, 76 for the daytime high. So not nearly as much of a temperature spread along the immediate west coast. Places like St. Pete, Clearwater will enjoy those kind of temperatures. They'll be a little bit warmer inland towards Tampa and Brandon. For our Sunday, it's basically dry, just a 20% chance for a shower. But again, warm and breezy up to 79 for the daytime high. And then again, most of the rain that will fall in the St. Pete area will occur after midnight into early on Monday. So a 50% chance for morning showers. Now look, there can absolutely be a rumble of thunder here and there, but I'm not expecting it to be any big problems. And again, their temperature there in St. Pete will only be 72 for Monday afternoon. For our friends in Daytona Beach, a beautiful Saturday ahead. Mostly sunny skies, nice day, 50 the morning low, but we'll climb by more than 25 degrees, get up to 76 for the daytime high. Now, this is an area that, again, could spell a couple of showers late in the day, but I'm still skewing this past sunset, so I'm not really worried about the forecast for Sunday as far as the rain goes if you're going to be outdoors. 81 the daytime high. We'll deal with the showers on Monday morning and then a brisk north wind. And even as skies clear, that's going to hold temperatures on Monday in at 72 degrees. And then for our friends in the villages, look at this temperature swing tomorrow morning. Certainly, if you're playing around a golf in the villages tomorrow morning, it is absolutely layer weather. You got to get the jackets out early tomorrow morning. 48 the morning low, and it was much colder this morning. But sunshine and 81 for the daytime high. We're going to climb 33 degrees from our morning low to our afternoon high for our Saturday. Once again, villages being a little bit further northwest, can't rule out a late afternoon shower or storm, but still most of that will fall after the sunset hour. And again, it's going to be an hour later because we're springing forward here on our Sunday. 84 the daytime high. Now, this is an area where I put in a slight chance for a rumble of thunder. There's a little bit more juice in the atmosphere the farther north that you go. Again, a couple of lightning strikes. That's pretty much what I would be expecting in those areas. We'll then end it with a few showers left over early on Monday morning. This is an area where skies will clear quicker. That means they'll get the north breeze a little bit earlier in the day, and 72 will indeed be the daytime high. And as I was mentioning to everyone, we do have a new YouTube channel. It's called Weather Express. You will find a link to it in the description below here. Would really appreciate your support over there. It's a brand new channel. Folks have been asking me, Rusty, you going to cover, the rest of the United States? Because on Media Mundo, I cover the Caribbean and the Bahamas. Here, obviously, I cover Central Florida's weather, which is my home, and I love it, and we get into detail on it. But if you want the national forecast, I've got you covered there. It's Weather Express. It's a 5-minute forecast. So it's kind of a niche thing here where, instead of these longer format videos, I'm going to hit the highlights. We're going to talk about the major stories coming up. And because it's daily, just kind of keep you guys up to date. So appreciate that support. You can find a link to that channel in the description below as well. So yes, juggling three different channels, and this is the off season. I can't wait. I'm actually really looking forward to when we get a little bit more active weather in here, because I think you guys are going to enjoy even more for what we have to offer you guys. So good to see you here on this Friday. Once again, beautiful weather expected today. Let me get over to the visible satellite imagery one more time as well. There's the IR. We'll go over to the Viz, put this back into motion for you guys. I would expect, just like we saw from the winter garden camera, a few fair weather clouds, but other than that, really nice weather. I'm going to pause this. These are your current conditions right now. We'll bring back on the time frame. You can see those running live. So a few 60s like Daytona Beach. St. Augustine, 63. Blue Goose was a little bit milder than that, 65.4. That was the last check at St. Augustine. Now, that was at 1256. So, look, we're going to climb again. But generally speaking, a little bit farther southwest that you go, it's going to be a little bit milder day overall, but winds are going to be extremely light and variable. Again, few showers and storms expected late on Sunday. Now, when you see me for the Monday show, right, we'll be tracking the last gasp of rain, more than likely, if the models hold true, exiting our area here by 1 o'clock on Monday. But we're going to have to get prepared for some big changes behind that front for the week, especially for our temperatures. So I'm going to have more on that coming up on Monday. But a preview is, don't put the jackets away anytime soon. We're going to have the opportunity here for some more cooler conditions, at least for a time. Blue Goose up to 66 in the Oyster Creek area. Appreciate it, Blue Goose. Thank you guys very much. Does anyone have any specific questions about the forecast? Again, looking pretty good for the remainder of the weekend with the showers and storms coming in. If you know any friends who live along the Gulf Coast, you might want to give them a heads up. Again, tomorrow, the marginal risk for severe storms goes from North Texas through all of Louisiana, South Mississippi, into Alabama and our western panhandle. Auto court added waiting. Are you talking in some different tongue there, Blue Goose? Oh, autocorrect. Let me guess. Autocorrect? Gotcha. I was like, Corricat. I'm like, that's either the name of a person or a location in Florida I've never heard of. But I got you. I know I can read it. Autocorrect added waiting. Got it. And then the reply should be, and then it spelled it wrong too. Oh, I love it. Thank you so much, Blue Goose. This is what I love. Look, this doesn't have to be, 100% of the time. We're just talking about the forecast. We can chat here, guys. All of the sports is I mean, I don't know. Is anyone, I'm not a huge hockey guy. I guess that's what's in play right now. My brother is absolutely a fanatic of the Tampa Bay Lightning, but I'm kind of in the lull right now. We'll pick it up at baseball season. My team is actually the Atlanta Braves, even though I'm from Florida. So if Aaron's still watching, if he's from Philly and he's a Phillies fan, we might have a little clash there. Because when I grew up here, the Tampa Bay Rays didn't exist, the Miami Marlins didn't exist, and you were watching TBS and you were watching Dale Murphy and the Braves in the 80s, right? That's my team. But we can talk whatever you guys want. So again, just to be clear, Sunday, South Georgia, our I-10 corridor, marginal risk for a few severe storms. Just like our weather last Wednesday, the biggest threat with that is going to be the opportunity for some winds of over 60 miles an hour. All right, friends, I think we're good to go for this Friday afternoon. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Once again, Central Florida Weather Live is sponsored by the Lean Law Firm of Central Florida. They're your hometown homeowners insurance attorneys. They cover homeowners, condo owners, associations across the entire state. Yes, if you're in Pensacola, you're in Jacksonville, you're in Miami, they can help you out. They offer free consultation and policy reviews. Look, we don't want to have to think about this in life. And I had a situation a few years ago where I wish that I had met Bobby at that point in time, Bobby Lean, the Lean Law Firm, because I would have picked up the phone immediately and gotten a hold of him. So if that does occur in your life, and you want to help out the supporter of the channel here, go to leanonmelaw.com if you would like more information. Gang, have a great rest of your Friday. Enjoy the weekend. Again, cold start to our Saturday morning. Get prepared for that. And then when I see you back here Monday at 1 o'clock, we'll be talking about that rain wrapping up. We'll take a look at what's happened with that, and then look ahead to some big time fluctuations in our temperatures and our rain chances for the week ahead after that as well. It's March. That's exactly what happens, guys. These fronts come in and we can really see those temperatures swing here and about. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you for tuning in for the live version. Thank you for liking and subscribing. If you're watching the recorded version of this, thank you for watching this as well. Again, you have a specific question, you can drop it in the comment section below. I go back. Anything you ask, I'm happy to answer. Guys, have a great rest of your Friday. Have a great rest of your weekend, and I'll see you back here on Monday afternoon.